What's up, nerds? This is Mr. Storm, and this is your introduction to Computer Technology 2, or Business Office Specialist. Really just depends on when you're watching this video. The name's going to change very soon, but yeah, it's either one of those, Computer Tech 2 or Business Office Specialist. Don't get confused if I use the names interchangeably. We're going to talk about my disclosure, what my standards are, how you're going to turn in assignments, what to expect if you turn in assignments late, kind of what you're going to learn in this class, things like that. I'm going to show you a little bit of how to use Google Classroom if you're unfamiliar with the environment. But this is going to be kind of a longer video. It's just going to be your orientation to really understand what you have to do in this class. Let's dig into the disclosure very quickly so we can talk about what my standards are. So essentially, this class is really a class focused on using Microsoft Office productively. So this class is going to teach you how to use word processing software, spreadsheet software, database software, electronic presentation software. And we're going to focus on Microsoft Office as the main source of that learning. We are going to focus on some higher level computer science concepts. Not necessarily more difficult concepts than you faced in the past, but concepts about how technology is used in society today and some of the other technologies that are out there that you might be exposed to later on. So this class is going to be, there's a good mix of actually doing things in software and showing you know how to use the software correctly, and thinking about technology as it pertains to society and how you interact with it as an individual. So it's a pretty good class, pretty balanced in that way. There is no textbook for this class. Basically, your textbook is going to be Google Classroom. All of the learning materials that you need are going to be there. Every assignment that you need to do is going to be done in Google Classroom, turned in via Google Classroom. You're never going to have to come to me to get a packet or a worksheet. It's all already there. You will complete an assignment basically every day you come to class, and I will update all grades by midnight every Thursday. So if you want an absolute up-to-date grade, check it after midnight on Thursday. So check it Friday morning, and you'll have an up-to-date grade. The only exception to that being if an assignment is due on Thursday, my due dates are like 11:30 at night. So that's a half an hour for me to grade between 11:30 and midnight, and by 11:30 on Thursday night, I'm hopefully in bed or watching Game of Thrones or something. I'm not grading papers. So usually those won't get updated by Thursday night at midnight. Those will probably be done on Friday, along with any late work that's turned in. Materials, you don't need to bring anything to this class. The only thing you might want to bring are a pair of headphones that you like. If you have headphones that you'd rather use other than, the ones that I can give you, please bring those. Other than that, you don't have to bring anything. And this class, the classwork in this class can be done really anywhere. You have a computer and a stable internet connection. You don't need to just work on this class while you're in my class. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So here's the way the class is going to break down. You come in, you log into Google Classroom, and you see what assignment you have to do for that day. We'll look at the schedule in a minute so you can see what assignments are going to be due when. There are going to be videos, links to external websites, other instructional materials that make sense for that lesson. You're going to learn using that material, and then you're going to have some assignment that is usually smaller than what you see in other classes, but it's just some small assignment that's going to show that you paid attention to the material you were supposed to learn. Not every assignment is going to cover everything that I want you to everything that I expose you to, everything that I want you to learn, but every assignment covers the core concepts I need you to understand for that lesson before we can move on. You are encouraged to work through this material at your own pace as long as the due dates are met. So you can go faster than my schedule, but you cannot go slower than my schedule, because every assignment is required and every assignment must be turned in by the due date. So you can't go slower than my schedule, but you can go as fast as you want. If you've completed your assigned work for that class period, Say you're a couple weeks ahead because you did some stuff over the weekend, or you finish your assignment and you have some time left in the class period. My expectation is that you will use that time to explore other learning opportunities. Every time you're in my class, anytime you're in my class, you are learning something. You are not goofing off. You're not wasting time. When you're at school, you are a professional, and you behave yourself like a professional. If you're working a job and you're spending a good chunk of your day surfing Reddit or looking at memes or whatever, watching stupid YouTube videos, that is not a productive use of your time, and it's not a professional use of your time, and you probably won't have that job for very long. School's the same way. When you're here, you need to be focused on learning and improving yourself. And so I have tons to say about that, and we'll talk about that in class, but that's my expectation, is that you're learning and you're not wasting that time. I do not assign homework, but assignments are due at 11:30 the day that they're assigned. And so if you don't finish your classwork in the class time that you're given, then you need to complete it that night as homework. Absence is a makeup policy. So all assignments are required, and they all must be completed on time. Okay, it's not optional. You can't just choose to turn in assignments late. You are required to show proficiency in every performance standard that's outlined by the state in order for me to say that, yes, you are proficient and you're able to pass this course. If an assignment's not turned in, then I can't say that you are proficient in that task, because I'm not. I don't have proof of that, right? So I can't honestly say that you're proficient in all the things that you need to be proficient in order to pass this class. So all assignments are mandatory. If you don't turn an assignment by the due date, I'll send an email to you and your parents or guardians reminding you of this obligation, that all assignments must be turned in by the due date. If it continues to be a problem, then I'll set up a time where I can work with you and your parents to come up with a strategy that makes sure that you are successful in this class. Because this is something that you really need to break. If you have a habit of turning in late assignments, then that habit needs to go away as soon as possible. So we need to work on that. Any assignment that's not turned in by the due date is going to be recorded as an M in Aspire, which is basically missing. It counts as a 0 in the grade book, so it's dragging your grade down. Any late assignments you turned in are automatically going to lose 25% right off the bat, right? So you'll get a maximum of 75% of that assignment. And it doesn't matter what the reason is, right? It doesn't matter if your parents took you for 2 weeks to, Disneyland, and you didn't do the work before you left, and so you turned it in the week after you got back. You're still losing those points, okay? So the best bet is to get a little ahead of the schedule, and if you know that you're going to be out for a while, make sure you do the work before you take off for vacation, things like that, so that you don't lose those points. Now, if you do turn in a late assignment, you absolutely 100% must send me an email letting me know that you've turned it in. I am not going to be going back through Google Classroom checking to see if my gradebook matches what assignments have been turned in. Basically, when I sit down to grade it, I'm going to grade the assignments that are in there. If the assignment's not in there, you get a missing. And I don't ever look back, okay? It's up to you to tell me, hey, I just turned in this assignment, so you need to go back and check it so you can update my grade, okay? And the way you communicate that with me is through email. If you just tell me in person, I am not going to remember, and there's going to be no record of that conversation taking place, okay? If you send me an email, that's a record, and I will remember to do it. So send me an email. The email must be professional, okay? You must let me know what assignment it is. You must let me know what class period you're in, and you must let me know that you're in computer technology too, right? Because I teach computer technology 2 many class periods. So you want to make sure you let me know the computer technology 2 part and what period you're in, and definitely what assignment it is. There also must be a subject line in the email. As a habit, I delete any emails that I get that don't have a subject line. I don't even look at them. That's a security thing. It has nothing to do with you, but that's just a professional. That's what most people do. Most business professionals, if it doesn't have a subject line, they just delete it, right? So I've gotten into that practice. I don't even look at who sent it. I just delete it. So if you want me to read your email, you must put a subject line on your email. Rules and consequences. Obviously, all rules that apply to UMA apply in my classroom. My personal rules in my classroom really don't vary too far from the UMA standards. But specifically because we're in the computer lab, you absolutely must respect the work of other cadets, right? You're sharing these computers with hundreds of other kids, and if you do something to the computer that makes it unavailable for them, then you're making their lives harder. And that's not your goal. You shouldn't be doing any of that. You're not allowed to personalize these computers. It's not yours. This is school property. Okay? You're not allowed to delete other kids' files. You're not allowed to delete files that you didn't create. Okay? If you see files on there that you don't think should be there, let me know. I'll come take a look at them, and if I think they should be gone, I will delete them. You're not allowed to open other cadets' files. Okay? I teach graphic design classes and other design classes. You may see like a thumbnail for an image, and you may want to open it up and see what it is. It's not yours. Okay? Don't touch it. It's not yours. Plagiarism is obviously not okay. I have caught kids trying to pass off other people's work as their own. I will tell you that plagiarism is one of those things where you won't get caught every time you do it. You just won't, right? No matter how diligent I am and how vigilant I am in looking for plagiarism, you may be able to get one past me. But it's not a risk that I would take personally, because if I probably will find you, I will find out who did it, I will find out that you copied someone else's work, and the consequence for that is that you automatically get a 0 on that assignment without the ability to make it up. It is a Class 2 infraction. You'll be referred to the office. It's a headache that you don't need, so don't even bother, okay? I would much rather you give it a shot, try to turn something in, and if it's not up to academic standards, at least we know where you are and we can work with you on that. But if you try to pass off someone else's work as your own, then I have no idea what you know and what you don't, and I can't help you improve. I take military customs and courtesies, and I take dress and appearance very seriously. I was in the United States Air Force for 10 years, and this is something that I stressed constantly with the airmen under my command. Command sounds wrong, but the airmen that I led, that's something that I stress with them constantly, because it's very important that you respect the customs and courtesies and you wear the uniform correctly. I will write up any violation, uniform violation. I will, any disrespect. My job as a teacher here at the school is not only to teach you computer science, but also to teach you how to be a respectful and professional, military member, essentially. And so that's a huge part of my job, and I take it seriously. But I also do understand that this is a pretty steep learning curve for many of you. You've never been in a situation like this, and sometimes the rules are easy to forget. And so my style is I'm not going to drop the hammer on you. I'll try to correct you and help you understand why what you did wasn't correct. I look at my job as more as a mentor, as opposed to a person who just metes out punishment. But if you consistently prove that you're unable or unwilling to follow these simple rules, then that is something I will have to refer to administration. I don't like to do that. I like to handle things in my own classroom. But if I have to, I will. All right, that's my disclosure. It's pretty easy. Honestly, it's really hard to mess any of this stuff up. Let's take a look at the schedule so we can talk about the actual content, because I know that's what you're excited about. You're excited to learn what you're going to learn. So I have both terms already listed out here with a list of each assignment that you're going to be working on. Right now we're doing the introduction, so you're watching the introduction video. But everything on here after that, these are all graded assignments that you need to complete. They are all already in Google Classroom. So all you have to do is jump in and actually I'm noticing that there's a color difference in the shading here. One second, let me fix some stuff while we're chatting. They're all already there. So if you, let's say you want to go home over the weekend and you want to complete a bunch of assignments and you want to get way ahead, great. This is the schedule. This is the order that you need to do the assignments in. And that order also follows the Google Classroom, the way it's set up, right? The first thing on that schedule, if you look, after the introduction is the now, new technology. So you go down here and you see, oh, the now, new technology, with a due date right here. And a description of what you need to do. Follow each of the links below, then complete the new technology assignment. So it's pretty easy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links here. And all these links take you to a web page that will give you a little bit of information about understanding new technology. So virtual reality and augmented reality. Here's an article about that. Read it, find out what it is. I think there's some videos here. Yeah, there's some video. Oh, maybe that's not a video. Yeah, there's a video. Read it, watch the videos, think about it. I mean, these are really interesting subjects. But we have drones, self-driving cars, 3D printing. These are all things that I want you to look at, understand them. And then the new technology assignment, you click on that, you follow the instructions, and you turn it into Google Classroom. I'll go into more detail when I make the video for this assignment. But this is essentially how you complete the class. You just go through assignment by assignment, and the due dates are right here. So that's the 29th. This is the 30th. 29th, 31st, right? September 7th. So you just go through and you complete the assignment that's due for that day, or you go faster. Up here you will see a list of all the assignments that are going to be due soon that you need to complete. Over here you have topics. This is a way to navigate through the course pretty quickly. Let's say, it's the end of second term and you're working on Microsoft Access. You can click that and it'll take you to the Access section and give it some time for things to load. There we go. And so you can jump right to those lessons, and it only brings up the lessons that pertain to that section, right? So that's an easy way to navigate through the material, okay? Pretty easy stuff. If you have any other questions about this class, please ask me in person. This video is getting kind of long, but I think that pretty much covers everything. You should, at this point, you should be able to just jump right in and start completing assignments. Again, if you have any questions, please ask me. Thank you for paying attention, and I will see you next time.